Right, what's up, guys? Everywhere we look at the minute, Reddit, the Discord, Facebook, everywhere we look, Overlord Asagi is everywhere. Now, I want to look if all the hype is real. People are just promising they're going to spend all their quartz on it, but is she really worth it? So we need to have a look at just how good she is. I mean, it can't just be for the artwork. I mean, it is good artwork, I'm not going to lie there. But we will look at all her stats, skills, evilities, all that good stuff. First thing we need to know is that she is an attacking monster unit. They're quite rare in the game, so it's always good to have more there. Stats wise, monstrous attack, 13 million when topped out. That is pretty high. Everything else is quite balanced. Speed's 53, so that's fairly standard. Attributes wise, decent start attribute. Everything else 0. And then we look at these evilities. So as always, I will do a quick look at evilities, quick look at skills, look at the spells, then go back, look at all the combinations between them, and just discuss are they actually a decent unit. Remember guys, please do hit like if you enjoyed the video, and if you are new to the channel, please also do hit subscribe. So these evilities. Overlord's Command, party attack and defense plus 13%. Good start. Good buff to everyone. Attack and defense, always liked. At the beginning of turn, your SP plus 10. So that is just Overlord Asagis plus 10. I like that one a lot. Longer battles that drag out, that's going to be great as well. NE5, Abysmal Power. At the end of the turn, if you have defeated an enemy character, your attack plus 17% for 3 turns. So we've got a stack in one here. Topped out after 3 turns, that's going to be 51%, if my math's correct in my head there. 51%. That's a pretty decent attack boost after 3 turns, so we cannot moan about that one. NE7, Overlords Purge. When all parties are monster characters, the damage you do plus 50%. So irrelevant if they're monster attack or monster magic, just got to be monster, and then she'll get the extra 50% damage. Yeah, it's just for her. Just the way it's worded then, all party members, but the extra 50% damage is just for Asagi. So already starting to get a good feel as to why she's being quite hyped up. She's looked really good. Skill wise, Killing Slash, a nice cheap area of effect attack, but it also does have this little defense minus 3% for enemies that it hits. It's only a very small debuff, but a debuff is a debuff. If it is 5 enemies, they're all getting 3% debuffed from defense, and there's a total of 15% for everyone there. So it adds up a little bit in the end. Darkness Laser, a single attack move, C to B damage when upgraded. Not too expensive either. Considering you're going to get that SP plus 10 at the start of every turn, you should be seeing this move quite often. The cool thing about Darkness Laser and the next one I'll talk about in a second is both of these, the damage calculation is with the enemy's lower of defense or resistance. So regardless of that this move is an attack based move, if the enemy's got a lower resistance, it's going to go based on that, and it's going to go based on defense if that is also lower. And that right there, that is telling me that she is a very good attacking unit, and you're going to see a hell of a lot of damage coming out of this one. NE3, a Razor Cannon. Isn't that the name of Raccoon's move in Dragon Ball Z? Sounds like it anyway in the games. I'm sure it is. This is her NE3 move, so it is a big S to S plus damage move. Single target only. The same as before. The damage calculated is with the enemy's defense or resistance. Whichever one of them's lower, it's going to hit that. So let's look at these magic spells. And again, another favourite, another meta favourite of the game. Braveheart and Mega Braveheart are both there. So she learns Mega Braveheart at level 22 monster magic, so that'd be the medal one. So obviously you're going to want to get her up to 22 because you're going to want Mega Braveheart. Not just for her, but think about in the future, once she does get power crept, because it's bound to happen eventually, she can then buff the next stronger unit that comes out after her. So you always want to have Mega Braveheart on units that can have it. Fire moves, Mega Fire, Giga Fire, Omega Fire when we get that, we're not there quite yet. Fire moves are quite standard. I wouldn't say I'd go as far to get Giga Fire. I'll be quite happy just to tap her out at 22 for Mega Braveheart. That'll be ample, I'm sure. So let's move back to these evilities, these skills, see how they all work out. But yes, she does look really good. She looks very strong. Resistance. There's nothing in her kit that boosts her resistance. Not that her resistance was low at all. So for me, it's not a concern. If it ever does become a concern, you can get just one unit that can boost resistance. Stick them on there. There is plenty of monster units that can raise resistance just from the evilities as well. I think Raspberry, the original, I mean, she's pretty crap elsewhere, but she has an evility that raises party's resistance. I'm sure she has got that. I'm not going to check it now, but I think she has. And if she hasn't, someone else will, or you can use someone else's spell, so it doesn't really matter. You can buff that. But as I said, it is not a concern. So she's buffing attack and defense, plus 13% for everyone. She also, at the start of each turn, is going to have that 51% buff of attack after 3 turns on top of the 13%. So that's 64% there. Plus, if everyone is a monster in the team, an extra 50% damage done. So you're not going to add that to the 64, but it's just an extra calculation after it's an extra 50% damage done. So she is an absolute behemoth. And so I can already see it. I can happily say that the hype is real. She's very good. And I did have a quick look forward at other monster units coming out, and I don't think until at least after the first anniversary, I couldn't see any other monster units that attack and wise can compare to Overlord Asagi. Another great thing about all these abilities is that they are very easy to proc. Beginning of the turn, perfect, you don't got to do anything for that one. Just 3 turns for that attack plus 17. Most battles you do in the game are 3 waves, and if not, things like raids, that attack's going to creep up anyway. Don't know if future raids are the same as Disgaea where they did wipe the debuff, but again, she's always going to keep building after every turn, another 17%, capping out with 3 turns. And the all monster party one, very easy to do, especially since you are going to see the most use out of her in a monster team. Why would you not put her there? You can get Eusalia as well, who's got Mega Braveheart herself, so Eusalia can Mega Braveheart Overlord Asagi for an extra massive attack buff there, so even more damage coming out of her. So there's no tricky links at all between the abilities and skills. Sometimes you get units that only affect AoE, single, that sort of thing. None of hers are like that. It's just all attack buffs, so Killing Slash, Darkness Laser, and Raccoon's Eraser Cannon are all going to get massive buffs. And this damage calculation with the lower of enemies' defense resistance. See, for the time being, this is just a dodgy Japanese translation. That's all I can say. And in my head, all I'm reading that as is that the enemy, if they've got a low defense, you're going to hit them as they are defense statted. And if they have a low resistance, you're going to hit that number, but with an attack. But it doesn't matter because they're going to treat that as defense. That's all I can think. That's how it's going to work. And I can't see how it can work any differently to that. So that's what I'm going with. SP plus 10 at the start of turn. So every turn she's starting with 20 SP. So every turn you can always hit Killing Slash. Every second turn you can always hit Darkness Laser. An SP battery isn't going to matter so much. Obviously with like extra SP. But even if it's just like an extra SP plus 10, you're not going to be able to get that Darkness Laser off every turn. That's still only going to be every 2 turns. The reason you'd want that is because of the Eraser Cannon. Because it starts at 70 SP, it's saying 58 here, but that's because of a future Japanese update. But for us, I think it's just going to cap out at 65 currently. So naturally, it's just going to get that every 4 turns with an SP battery every 3 turns. So just the amount of attack that she's going to be putting out is incredible. If you want to play the long game, you can always Mega Braveheart Overlord Asagi herself. Maybe do it on the second turn, second turn, ready for that third turn when she's already going to have that extra 55% buff ready, plus the Mega Braveheart 55% buff once it is fully leveled up, plus already her 13%, plus an extra 50% damage on top of that. It's too much damage. Too much damage. Already 100% buff plus for herself, and then just plus 50 on top of that. It's nuts. Absolutely crazy. The damage, and as at the start, that attack stat is massive as well. So guys, the hype is real. Very, very real. Does this change my summoning plans? Maybe. Maybe I might do 15k into her. My plan was to save 45k, and then everything after that point I can spend on banners I like the look of, like Overlord Asagis. I doubt I'll get to 45 before she comes out next month, but then we do have to also consider Xeno Fuka's badass banner will be coming out at some point. No knowledge of when yet, and I don't know if I'd rather spend my quartz there instead of on Asagi, with the possibility of getting extra dupes for Tyrant Valvatores and Awakened Rosalind. It's a tough one. If you're building any sort of monster team, then definitely pull for Asagi. But yeah, guys, she's very good. There's not a lot to say about her other than she's brilliant. There's no little quirks really. Nothing like that. It's just very straight line, high attack, smash. No intelligence related stuff, but we don't care about that. Because as I said, you're not really going to want Giga Fire at all. You just want Mega Braveheart. Anything beyond that, not needed in my eyes. But anyway guys, if you did enjoy that video, please do hit like and subscribe, and I will see you again for more Disgaea RPG content. Bye.